ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Banya. Today, this fine hot summer day, we've got Nansi Ilae, right? Did I say that right? Is it Ilae?
It's Ilae.
Ilae. I was going to say Ilae. That's a town in Hawaii, right? Or a high school? Ilae? No?
No. Iolani, close.
Iolani. Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I don't know why I keep wanting to say it. Anyways, what's your maiden name?
Jimenez.
Jimenez? Okay, nice. Nansi is a blue belt at Aries PV Jiu-Jitsu. They call her the Huevos Smasher. So, as you might guess, she's a fierce competitor.
And she's got to be the most mentioned listener on this podcast. We talk about her all the time.
You guys
welcome.
do. Thank you.
Well, yeah, you're a savage, and it's fun to be in there with the savage. You know,
Absolutely.
Strong mind.
Absolutely.
Try.
Yeah.
So welcome. What do you think of the heat? Do you sauna much?
I started actually. We got a EOS Fitness membership.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Those
So-
places are nice. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
So I started
Heck
doing that, and it's been feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do any weightlifting or anything else, or what do you?
I do.
Yeah.
I actually just started doing a lot more cardio and a lot more weights, especially on my legs.
Uh-huh.
So I'm trying to get those.
What are you doing cardio wise?
Running. I sometimes do the stepper.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Stairmaster.
Yeah, the Stairmaster, and then the bike.
Nice. Yeah,
I like the Stairmaster.
I
Yeah,
do
that's a
too.
good one. It's not too hard on the joints like running is, but you get a good cardio workout when I do that. It's a good warm up too.
I do. I try to beat every time that I go in there. I try to beat. I think I'm up to like 50 floors.
Okay. Nice.
So
Sweet.
I'm trying to get it up there and see how far I can get up.
Heck yeah. Work up
What's
to
the
the
Dubai building? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the Twin Towers on 9/11. They do like I think it's like 103 floors.
Wow.
Work up to that
Go
or
higher,
whatever
dude.
the Dubai is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably like 206 floors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Do you sauna after your workout then?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Something with the heat shock proteins coming in
Uh-huh.
after the workout, right? That's everything I've heard.
Yep.
Yeah, I usually go in there, and since it's not really too busy, especially in the mornings,
Mhm.
I start like stretching, and so I do kind of like the sauna in stretch in there. That way, after my workout,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, like right now, I've been doing that because I haven't been able to go to jiu-jitsu since I'm training at work. But
Yeah.
That's just starting early, and you used to get to work from home, actually, right? So now you're.
no, I'm still from home.
Oh, okay. You've just been going in for training, though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just have to sit in front of the computer
Gotcha.
with a camera on my face.
How much longer you got on that?
Till the 24th.
Oh, okay.
What's the kind of training you're doing?
HVAC training.
HVAC?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, HVAC. Excuse me.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm learning all about the air conditionings and everything, and so
Okay.
to
Which
be
company do you work for?
American Home Shield home warranties.
Well, that's right. Yeah. I
So-
remember we talked about that. You so then what? You get a call in when somebody's got a warranty call, or what do you do?
So I am trained to authorize and everything, so I'm able to say what's covered, what's not, read the contracts, know all the verbiage and everything, and so I'm able to say how much we can give a contractor or not. But right now, I'm actually in a pilot program where I just have to make sure that the order makes it to the end.
Gotcha. Nice.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. I used to have American Home Shield. Yeah. But
See?
they wanted to like take it took like 2 weeks when I had no AC, unfortunately. So then I think all those warranty companies like that, they just can't rush it, they can't approve that or whatever. But it was rough last August.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember. But yes, you can't really rush it. You have to work the system.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think it's not really worth it.
Yeah.
but the amount of money I see coming out of those accounts,
Oh,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you can save a lot, I'm sure. Like versus paying for the parts out and just outright, getting that $75 or whatever that fee is, and then
Yeah.
I hear you. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that's what you're doing outside of jiu-jitsu. What else? How's your jiu-jitsu going?
You know what? I always say that my jiu-jitsu is shitty.
Oh yeah.
Everybody says it's not, but I'm always thinking that my jiu-jitsu is shitty. But I always talk to Daniel about like I can't really arrange my work, my roles, especially with some of you guys, because it's different. You guys rolling you together versus you rolling with me, and like you take it easy or you don't put too much force into it. So I can't really compare myself to the zombie crew.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you're getting a good coalition of ladies though these days.
I am.
It's looking good for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I am. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I love rolling with all of the zombie crew.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm really learning a lot.
Yeah.
So and
it's a solid group, man. There's
yes.
everybody in there is pretty dialed in. It's
Yeah.
a big sea of blue belts that are pretty pretty deep into that process too. So it's a good time in there.
Mm-hmm. No rounds off.
Yeah, and I like the blue belt journey of the jiu-jitsu too. I still feel like there's a little bit more piss and vinegar involved in that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you get some of these purple belts that roll in, they're all crusty and jaded and tired and whatever, but the blue belts are still a little bushy tailed,
Yeah.
So I like that too.
See, what I like it's the fact that I might not get like the full strength from you guys, but I always just try to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love like when you and I roll because I know you like to go hard. Like what I like to do is try to dial up the speed. So everything's faster. Like I try not to throw the weight around obviously, but I like to try to move to everything super quick. And that way you and I can both like push the pace. Like sometimes honestly, like if I roll with Judy or you, sometimes it's cardio wise like a more difficult match because like there's just a lot more positions that I try to get to, just like get all over the place, So those are honestly they're fun for me when I'm rolling with a lady that I know wants to go hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually super fun. So I mean, like Dana's girl Sam too, same thing. Like she likes to scrap, so it's like it's fun.
She's fierce.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, when
She
you
wants to get it.
when you first brought her in, I was like, "Are you sure you're new?"
Yeah, that's what everybody said. She's like, "Oh, I feel so terrible. I'm so bad at this." I'm like, "You are way better than most people in their first month. I can guarantee you that because she's super athletic and super strong.
Mm-hmm.
So she's getting ready for her first competition this weekend. So I'm like, you got this. Just have fun. You're gonna do great, and just don't be too worried about it. Remember to have fun. But everybody gets worried,
Yeah,
of course. It's the nerves, it's the worrying. Like for me, my first competition was like, oh, I'm letting everybody down.
Yeah.
Type of situation, and it gets into my head. So
sure. Well, and we've said this before, and it's not a negative thing, but it's like nobody cares really. Like we care, but we don't care if you lose.
Yeah.
I mean, we care if you win, but not really either. It's about going out and having fun, and
you can just think about it like other people. Like think about anybody else on the team. Like have they ever disappointed you with how they compete?
Yeah.
No, you don't even think about it.
Exactly.
Right? So that's the same thing going back at you. Like you build up in your head that like all these people will be let down if you don't do X, Y, or Z. But I mean, it's just like it's not even on the radar. You know what I mean? Everybody wants you to do well, but like it's not like they're got a dartboard with the picture of your face up on there. if you don't win the AZBJJL,
I don't know. Actually, I've been betting on your matches, Nancy. You're really letting me down. Shit. I'm losing a lot of money.
Dana's got his whole savings lined up for you.
Better win, Nancy.
Did you do any sports in high school or growing up as a kid?
I used to play a lot of soccer.
Okay. Where did you grow up?
Here in Arizona, actually.
Okay. What part of town?
7th Street and Union Hills.
Hills?
No, Indian school.
Indian
Okay.
school in 7th Street. Okay.
Nice.
Ghetto.
Not too far from where you are now.
It's not.
They call that the triangle or the rectangle.
She went to Central.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Yeah, Central High School, graduated 03.
Okay.
But I played soccer throughout my high school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For some reason, I always had this urge just to take off running.
Yeah.
So I would always like walk and run everywhere.
Yeah.
And back then it wasn't like really weird. So, and I don't really remember the heat, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember the heat being this way back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Like I was still in that generation of either you stay inside and don't do nothing or go outside and play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and then I grew up with a bunch of guys, so like my brother, my cousins, my uncles.
This
So-
explains a lot.
Yes, all the shit talk. Yes,
Yeah. You have one brother?
I do.
Any sisters?
Nope.
Okay, just the two of you.
No.
Older?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
but according to my dad, he says that I have a sister. I've
Okay.
never met her.
Oh, okay.
So
Do any of your siblings do jiu-jitsu?
No.
Have you ever taken them down at Christmas? Show them what's up?
yeah, we actually haven't gotten together in Christmas in a long time, so
Or any
Okay.
holiday?
we haven't.
No.
No?
No.
Alright. Yeah. You guys just went to Hawaii. Did you do any training when you were out there? Any jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes,
What's up with that? Tell us about that.
It was actually pretty fun. Because we went to this Kaizen gym, and they started like Grey Wolf all white belts.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple of upper belts, but the women out there, they were actually like very interested in me because after they asked me how much I've been training, they just like one of them actually took a full advantage and kept asking me questions, and she's like, "Oh, show me this, show me that."
Yeah.
And then that's when I kind of dawned on me, and I was like, "Damn, I know a lot more than what I thought I knew."
Heck
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? They explain, like, you don't really know how far you progressed until, like, a white belt like Sean Babin walks in the door and you start just strangling him over here, strangling him over by the trash can, strangling him over by the timer.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you realize, like, oh, shit, actually, you know, I do know a lot.
Uh-huh.
I can move.
Right.
And then Sean's, you know, goes home and puts a revolver in his mouth and thinks about it. And just, you know,
Poor Sean.
You know,
He
just
cries in the shower.
cries in the shower.
Well, what was it that you told your friends that you wanted to come to get beat up by a tiny Mexican lady?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was telling Sean, I was like, literally, dude, you be prepared. You're about to be strangled by about a 5'4" Asian lady and a Mexican gal. They're gonna just handle you, dude. They're gonna mop the mats with you. But to his credit, he keeps on coming back, dude. He's loving it. He's addicted. I love seeing that too.
Yeah.
Little
I
bug
do
bite.
too.
It's so fun.
Yeah, I actually donated that blue belt to him.
The gi.
Oh,
The
nice.
blue gi.
Blue
Oh yeah,
gi,
so,
yeah.
sorry, the
Yes.
blue gi, the blue gi, and he was grateful and everything. But I mean, I wasn't gonna use it, and so
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's getting some use out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so you listeners know, you can't receive a blue belt by donation. Okay?
Yeah.
No matter how nice they are.
Yeah, right. Oh, here,
We'll
you have
know.
my blue belt.
All right, I gotta take a cold plunge.
All right, let's do a quick plunge. We'll come back and ask some questions from the listeners. This episode of the Banya is brought to you by Optimize. Optimize is a health and wellness center run by Jesse Meringue, a fellow training partner of ours. They've got amazing center. They've got your cold plunge, your sauna, the infrared, the hot tub, compression therapy, as well as this PEMF therapy. It's like pulse electromagnetic field. It's amazing. Feels crazy, like you get that electro stim. But the idea is you've got a time in there for an hour to switch between different therapies. You can go from the sauna to the cold plunge to the hot tub. Feels amazing. Luke and I just did that last week, and absolutely, it was incredible. So if you're looking to recover from any sort of athletics or just to feel better, go check out Optimize. And for anybody, the listeners, if you just tell them you heard it on the Banya, they'll give you 50% off your first session. So I believe normally it's $39 for the first session for an hour, so it'll be half that. So go check them out. It's an amazing place.
Yeah, we do need a little stepping stone.
All right, back from the cold plunge.
I like the classic high seat though. For some reason, it's just it's different vibe than being on the ground.
Yeah,
I feel less than down here.
I don't know. It's just something about it. Looking down on Daniel. Yeah, we got Daniel in the corner, the cut corner here tonight.
Join us. Welcome, Daniel, as well.
Thank you.
All right, let's get we want to get a question here. We got from Todd.
Tybalt.
T-Balt. What's his favorite move? The Lockdown Todd. We'll shout out there. All right, Todd. So he had a question for us. He said, how do you prefer to approach a competition match, offense or defense? Do you go in with a game plan that you intend to force upon your opponent, or do you go in looking to understand your opponent's style and counter that with your game? What do you think are the pros and cons to both? All right. Well,
You want to start, Nancy? Yeah, we'll go in line.
So what do you think? Offense or defense? What do you focus on? What do you think is the best? And where do you like to gauge your opponent?
I don't think I'm there yet, but because everybody always asks me, what's your plan? I typically don't like to have a plan because it could, so many things can go wrong.
Sure.
So, I basically just go in there and just go with it.
All right. How's that been going?
When I started doing that, I won my first match, which was Worlds, and then I got smashed by the other people, but
Okay.
I've been doing higher weights than me. So at this point, I kind of figured that was the problem of not winning.
Okay.
So I kind of set myself to, I need to lose at least 20 pounds to be in the correct bracket to be able to do something. So that's where I'm starting now to be able to start competing again.
Okay. All right. Good. Do you, when you are getting ready for a competition, do you focus more on defense or offense, or what do you think?
Defense, definitely. Especially because I probably feel like I will need more defense than offense.
Yeah. Boom. All right. Todd, thanks for the question. I'll take this one too. I previously in all my matches, except for my very first one, but that doesn't count, I've been much more on the offensive. However, I'm currently rethinking that, only because in Vegas, doing 5 matches in a row and being super offensive was pretty exhausting, and it was from a more of a wrestling game plan too. So I want to get away from what I did there, and I still think I want to be more on the offensive, but it's probably going to look a little bit different. And on most people, I can get away with my double leg without any danger, but there still is, specifically with that takedown, some guillotine situations that you can get yourself into. So I'd rather just kind of ditch that, honestly. And what my new game plan is going to still be to be a lot more offensive, but I'm going to stand up more. So I'm pretty low right now when I approach people in kind of more of a classic wrestling stance. So But what I've kind of realized, because everybody else is also in a high stance, and I'm pretty comfortable with my shot defense, I think I'll benefit more from a little bit more of a straight up stance, because I can hand fight a little bit better and like remove their guard grips, or their grips when they grab my gi rather. So I'm gonna play with that a little bit more, and then like something we've been drilling when we get together with our little wrestling group sometimes randomly has been when somebody pulls guard, attacking that leg really quick, so we get those 2 points when they go to pull guard. So I think that's gonna be in this tournament coming up here this weekend. I'm gonna have a little bit higher of a stance, and if I don't pull guard, it'll probably be more like fighting for elbow passes and front headlocks, stuff like that.
Okay. Cool.
All right, Dana.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody who's rolled with me, they know I'm pretty defensive. I'll pull guard most of the time, and I'll work to sweep from there. So I do focus on specific submissions, but mostly it's going to be defensive. Now, when it comes to like a game plan, like do I want to wait for my opponent to see what they're going to do and adjust to that? I think that's not necessarily the worst strategy, but it should. There's a caveat to that where it should come with you have a game plan to counter anything they're doing. Meaning, so if you're going to pull guard like I do, they're going to go for some sort of a pass and having a way to off balance them to get a sweep immediately, whether it be some sort of a butterfly sweep, or if you can get them in your closed guard completely and doing a scissor sweep or pendulum or shoulder crunch or any number of sweeps that I work on. So still having a game plan for a counterattack to impose your will, because really you don't want your opponent to get into their habit or their flow of imposing their will, because then they're moving through their progressions and what they want to do versus you doing what you want to do. So if you have a good plan for what to do once your opponent passes or tries to pass, then sure, see what they're going to do. But don't want to give up anything too easily, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'd say.
Hell yeah. All right, what else we got question-wise?
We got another question, yes. Yeah. We got one from Arun. Let me get this up. All right. Arun, he said, any tips for cutting weight for competition? Luke, you're the resident weight cutter, being a wrestler for so long. You don't cut weight anymore, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think I've told this story. And when I do compete at 185, I do have to drop like 6 or 7 pounds, which that alone isn't a big deal, but it is challenging in jiu-jitsu that you have to weigh in right before you step on the mat at most tournaments. So you definitely don't want to go into the tournament sucked up, as we say, which basically means dehydrated. So obviously the easiest way to cut that last, 5-6 pounds is water weight, but we want to try to avoid that, especially in jiu-jitsu. In wrestling, we got to weigh in at least an hour before competition, so you could really, you could do some rehydration and fuel up again. But with the current setup, I'd say, the best move is start a couple weeks out, or depending on how much you have to lose, right? And just really start cutting out, the excess, carbs that you don't need, move into drinking water instead of caloric beverages. That's what gets most people is like, it's so easy to suck down a Gatorade and the amount of calories that are in a Gatorade, right? Versus like how much actual food you have to eat to match that caloric intake. It's pretty astounding. So try to eat most of your calories and then hydrate with water and your maybe a little bit of your electrolyte stuff. And then lastly, like how I cut weight, and I think I've told this story before, but I used to do all the stupid shit wrestlers would do. I'd get in saunas, I'd run with sauna suits on, doing all the exercise equipment and all that. And then about halfway through my college career, I had one of my Ukrainian wrestling coaches kind of give me a bunch of shit for that. He's watching us do our American thing and just sucking a ton of weight on like treadmills and stuff. And he's like, look, dude, you're not a fucking runner. You're a wrestler. He's like, throw your sweats on and just get a light roll on.
Mm-hmm.
Like your muscles, like, and it's true. Basically, what he was saying is like your body is used to wrestling or it's used to jiu-jitsu. So for you to do a bunch of random shit that you don't do on the regular or what you're not purpose built to do, it can make some of your other muscles sore. It can bring you down in other ways. So the best way to cut weight is to do what you're competing for. So throw on a pair of sweats and go do some jiu-jitsu with somebody, you know. That's a great way to cut that last bit of water weight or whatever you got to do. Because you'll find your muscles and everything. You're already used to doing a lot of those motions.
For sure. Yeah, I want to add one quick thing. So for my entire white belt, year and a half, I got down to pretty light, like about 175. And I was like, I'm just going to cut down to 168, super light. And first couple competitions were okay. I felt all right. And then I started to get bigger and stronger. And the last one I ever did at 168 was just so taxing. So do it early, if you're going to prepare for it. If you're, 7-8 pounds off with a week left, maybe just move up weight classes. We're weekend warriors for the most part. For anybody listening who's in the adult
Right.
age, then maybe it's a little different for you or younger than that even. But most of the people who listen to this are, 25 and up at least. So I'd say, have fun. So if you're cutting weight, you're going to be stressing yourself out. You're going to be stressing out your significant other for the couple of weeks before. And, it's going to take tax on the rest of your life. So beware of that. And if you are going to cut, last thing is cutting out salt in the last 2 days will help with that as well, because the salt actually retains more water. So if you drink a lot of water without a lot of salt, that'll help as well if you are going to do that. So, and there's other methods you can look up for that. Don't rely on us as any experts, because there's a lot of resources out there, but do it safely. It's the biggest thing.
See, this is why I said I want to cut the weight now and then look into
Well, and you're not even
competing.
cutting weight. You're just losing weight.
I'm trying to lose the weight now, healthy and better and process longer than just going into it a week and then trying to cut all of that.
Yeah.
What is your current what's your diet plan? What are you doing to make progress on your weight?
So I have this it's kind of like a shake / cleanser. And so it fills me up pretty quickly when I drink it, and it keeps me not hungry, so that cuts off most of my meals. But I usually do 2 shakes and then 1 good meal, all protein based.
Right. Yep. Yeah, loading up on the protein.
Yeah, so I've been really into making my own hamburgers and wrapping them on lettuce, and then just eating 2-3 patties in that wrap of lettuce, and it's so good sometimes when you don't have 2 meals in the day. When that meal comes, it's just fantastic.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I've been getting in a cycle of not eating until at least 2. I'll drink a lot of water and stay hydrated, but it's been awesome since I've been able to push past the I don't even get hungry anymore. It's so nice. It's convenient too, as a time saver. Literally, it's been rad not to even have to think of packing a lunch or eating breakfast or anything. I just get to go blast through my day, hit it hard, and then I'll start eating around 2. And sometimes it's a shit ton. Sometimes I'll try to last the rest of the day without eating a ton, but.
See, I'm to this point, I think at 11 o'clock. So I'm starting to push it up and just drink a bunch of water.
Yeah.
Plus, about 6 months ago, I cut off all energy drinks and all coffee.
Nice. How you feeling with that?
A lot better. It sucks some days, but I just power through it because I'm I can't go back.
You sleep better?
A cup of coffee, or you're totally just cold turkey in it? Nothing?
Oh, I cold turkey the whole thing. One day, because I learned that my dad had a heart attack.
Oh
no!
And so once he got out of that surgery, I was I can't be doing this.
Yeah.
So I just straight up stopped energy drinks and coffee.
Yeah.
So I actually yesterday had my first coffee and I didn't even finish it. I had like not even half of it.
Yeah.
And so today again, not even half of it, but just enough to give me that boost to where I basically tossed the whole cup away.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, and if you're gonna avoid it, any sort of a stimulant, get your body on a normal rhythm of sleep and being up how you need to be. That's great. How's your energy levels in the afternoon?
Pretty good. I kind of try to punt myself out, not really, because when I go in the into the gym in the afternoon, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be here. But as soon as I step into that mat, everything I forget, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm here.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
That's how it always is. No matter how badly you don't want to be at class, as soon as it's over, you're like, "Dad, the best decision I could have made."
Exactly.
Actually, I take it back. I've had 1 or 2 classes where I've been like, I shouldn't have come.
Do you want to take a quick break?
Yeah, I have to.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and we got one more question, and we can wrap things up.
Sweet. Who's got the last question?
It is Dennis. Dr. Dennis Apker.
Dennis the Men's.
Check it.
Oh my god, that's so warm. So warm.
I'm glad that at least left it longer.
Yeah.
I'm like getting worse at it too.
As it goes on?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what's nice about a sauna, though. You get a lot of the cardiovascular benefits of like an intense workout without the muscle strain. I read something too that you get up in like 10 minutes to do a
Yeah, the best is that contrast where you do like super cold water, and the feeling you get when you do that. The feeling you get when you do that is incredible. Like, we'll give you guys passes to optimize. You guys should go check it out. If you go in there, you can sit in the sauna, get like 20 minutes, and you're cooking, and then you get in the cold plunge. It's like 38 degrees, and it feels amazing. When you get out, you're like, it's like a hot. Dude, that one is actually. I'm gonna go on. Me and Sam are going on Friday. To get ready, just to fully recover for Saturday. I don't know if you can, but we're gonna go probably.
Yeah, let me know what movie I might meet you guys there. Summer's the worst time for business, so I've committed to pulling a lot more hours in the trucks to save some OT.
Other guys slow down.
Yeah, it slows down, and then my electrical bill doubles.
Oh yeah.
Kind of a double whammy situation.
All right, I'm gonna finish it up.
Yeah, not really, no. 4th of July, it's good fun.
I know, like, November is good. Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
Rose and all that shit.
Who's the lady on the door?
I don't. My wife drew that, and then Everett tacked it on the door.
Damn, she's talented.
Yeah, she's an artist. She studied the fine arts in school. All right, yeah, hit us with that last question.
All right, Dr. Dennis Apker. He said, "Banya dudes, huge fan of the pod and really admire your recent philanthropic offer to help people get started in jiu-jitsu. Got a question for y'all. Early in your jiu-jitsu journey, approximately first 2 years, did you have moments of certain things clicking? This summer will be 2 years for me, but I've yet to have a moment where things suddenly make sense in a lasting way that improves my jiu-jitsu. I think I've heard Dana say he's had some moments where things click for him, so would love to hear more about that, and also hear if Luke has experienced the same. Another way of putting it maybe when people say they found their game in jiu-jitsu. So would love to hear a kind of breakthrough moment where things suddenly make more sense, but for now, enjoying the slow progression. Thanks, fellas. Thanks for the question, Dennis.
It's an awesome question.
Great question, absolutely. I can't point to a specific moment, I'd say, for when things actually clicked, but there's a time, and I think one of the things that got me over a plateau, I'd say, is when I stopped panicking. And I think a lot of people will have this where you get to a point where you're getting smothered or choked or some point where the panic kind of sets in. Your heart rate, it goes through the roof even more than it already is, and you don't know what to do exactly, so you kind of start to spaz and a lot of times tap out. So that was a moment for me when I was able to think through things and actually stop getting that panic moment. So yeah, I mean that was a big point. I think another point for a while, as I was getting kind of close to blue belt, I would roll with some upper belts, and they would tell me to slow down, and I kept thinking I feel like I'm going slower and thinking about things, but they kept saying it. So eventually, I don't know exactly how it happened, but eventually I think I was just thinking more and not trying to go 100%. And the way I put it is, if you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to go 100% physically, you don't leave space for yourself to think. So I like to think about, I'm going to go 75% or 80%, because it gives you that 20 to 25% for your brain to work and think about what you're doing and be very specific about what movement you're doing, where you're getting a grip, where you're putting your legs, your feet, and so on. So not exactly a specific moment, but some things that kind of clicked, and you'll get little moments and where you hit a plateau where you're like, I'm not learning anything, and all of a sudden you get a move and you're like, I understand it now. So yeah, there's little times where that comes, understanding concepts as well, removing a post or removing the post before you're going to sweep. There's little things like that. So Nancy, what you probably had some of those a moment, or what do you think about when things started to click or you started to get things a little bit more?
It started clicking after I got my blue belt.
Okay.
I didn't think that I was going to get, I didn't think that I deserved it, but then afterwards, I kind of embraced it.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to show that I do deserve this.
Yeah.
And I started putting more work into it, and then just one day, I couldn't really tell you a specific time, it just started clicking, and then I started seeing moves, and I'm like, wait, if you go here or if you do this, you can see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there's no specific of when or how, but the whole thing with Vinny telling us to go 30% and closing our eyes, it has been helping me a lot, because now it's more of a feel and not what I can see.
Sure.
Because sometimes what you see, your mind can trick you.
Uh-huh.
So me closing my eyes and actually feeling pressure of where to take them, how to do this, and it does give me a lot more time to think, because like I said, your brain can play tricks of what you're seeing. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I got you, Dennis. That's an excellent question, man. And first of all, Dennis, it, like we were talking earlier, it's hard to progress, keep tabs on your own progression. But you have gotten really good. I mean, dude, from the time you walked in the door to what you're doing now, it's night and day. So it is harder to see for yourself, but yeah, it's obvious that you've improved greatly. But yeah, mine comes in little tiny things. As far as all of a sudden having a game, I don't think that really clicks probably for people as much as putting together a bunch of little things to where now you do have have a game in a sense that whether you're on your feet, you're comfortable, you're in somebody's guard, you're comfortable, you're in your guard, you're comfortable, right? At that point, I think we start to feel like we have like a quote unquote full game where we're kind of comfortable in all these positions and we're excited to get in any of these positions. So like kind of just like putting yourself in all these different spots and making sure that you're happy to be in any of them is key. Like the one that Dana and I were just working on this morning, it's kind of like the thing that I feel like I've been missing the most has been like in passing people's guards. And I kind of realized I've been going about it wrong this entire time. So I kind of just scrapped everything I was doing. And I've been applying the things that I've been being taught for a full 2 years, but I just kind of like, for whatever reason, haven't been really implementing, and it's been way better. So that's a big one for me right now that I'm feeling clicking right now is passing guard and being more upright and being more loose and more fluid when I'm cutting through people's guards. But I've had two like really important little ones that happened to me that got me super excited, and these were fun because the first time the coaches showed both of these moves to me, it was literally probably a year apart, and then we circled back to them, and the second time around I was like, oh shit, I got this. And one of them was north-south. Vinny had showed that to us almost week one, I think. It's one of his favorite moves, and I just couldn't get the timing right as far as like where to clamp down on my arm with the blade of my thing, you know, just like the little, and then it just like a year of just kind of skirting around it and messing with it, and finally he showed it again. He reviewed it one more time, and then after that, boom, I've been locking in on that like crazy. And the other one was, and this one's a little more interesting because it has to do with physiology. When I first walked in, Mateus loves triangles, right? And my hips could not get in the position they needed to be to triangle somebody. And I literally remember saying out loud, like, oh, I'm never going to do triangles. These aren't for me. Like, I can't. My hips just don't do that. But here we are a couple years later, and I fucking love triangles. And it's like my hips have opened up, and I've gotten the timing right on when to slap them on. I like to do them from mount now. It's just, these things do click in little ways, but it's not like one giant big aha thing where all of a sudden you've got a full-blown developed jiu-jitsu game. It's just like you just gotta take these little micro victories on your positions and on your technique and just keep focusing on that, and then, you know, be aware that, you know, of all the different areas you need to have a full-on legit difficult game for somebody to deal with, but it just doesn't happen in one big snapshot. So,
yeah.
Boom.
For sure.
It comes and goes, kind of like a roller coaster. Because sometimes I feel too like I'm like, where was that?
Yeah.
that like a week ago, and I'm like today I'm like I can't pull anything off.
Yeah. You know, I like to pick a move, and usually not the move that we're learning that day. So when we get into neutral rolls, I'm going to try that move on every single person I roll with. So if you're working on sweeps, you pick a sweep and do that for 2-3 weeks until you feel like you kind of understand it. You understand the motion. You've picked up on the momentum that's needed from your opponent. You know, you take their post away, whatever it is, and do that sweep as much as possible. Even if your opponent knows it's coming, do it anyways, because then you know how they're going to defend it and you learn that. So try that. Pick a sweep, pick an escape, and a submission, one of each, and put yourself in the position where you can get those, whatever it happens to be. And keep doing that. And once you get those down, pick a new one and just spam that as much as possible. So that's helped me really get those down, and then I can always go back to that sweep that I had before that I spent 3-4 weeks on trying to perfect. Then, you know, maybe it gets a little better because you worked on other things. So,
well, I don't know if you noticed, but I haven't pulled the guillotine in a while.
You haven't. You have not. You were spamming it for a while, but maybe it's coming back.
It might be.
Yeah.
So, but I did try to get and do other moves than just be known for the guillotine.
Yeah.
So I have one in the bag. I have to learn the others.
All right. Hell yeah. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. All right. Well, I am cooked.
Dude,
Me too. I'm done.
All right.
Yeah, me
well,
too.
we've got to hit the water on the rocks a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's got the treatment, so maybe hit us with a half a
Full
later.
cup. It's a little guy.
Do whatever you're feeling, Nancy. There we go.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, breathe slow. Breathe slow.
It's not that bad down here.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Nancy. Everybody remember that if you know anybody who is thinking about jiu-jitsu and wants to take it on, reach out to us.
Update too. We actually, I forgot to mention this to you, Dana, but we've got somebody from Billy.
Okay, we have
to
someone.
Get started.
Okay,
Yep.
awesome.
Nice.
You know, keep it coming. If you guys know anybody else, we're
Thank you for
Absolutely.
having me. I'm
Yeah.
going. I
Yep.
was just oh my
All
god.
right.
this
Well,
is
thank
hot.
you, Nancy.
All
We're
right.
off. Thank you, ladies and
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
We'll see you on the next Banya. Peace.